as we've had some technical issues back at the old station, but they've gotten them all ironed out, so we welcome you to the show here tonight. We should mention right off the top, we have a new title sponsor for the Phil Vigil Show. It's Rusler Implement. They're the same family, same name since 1960. They're their premier Kubota, Case, International Harvester, and New Holland dealer. 2 locations, of course, out on the Mesa, 1 in Rocky Ford. Be sure to like their Facebook page for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card and get all their updates and promotions. Phil Vigil, welcome to the show. You got a new sponsor. You got to love that.
You know what? There's a little history there with that sponsor. So Bob Rusler, who's the owner of Rusler Implement, his son, Bart Rusler, was my roommate in college.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
There you
and
go.
His other son, Brett, my senior year, we were playing, I don't remember who we were playing. Score a touchdown. I feel a tap on my shoulder. It's Brett Rusler ran out on the field to congratulate me on a touchdown.
Nice.
So,
Comes full circle sometimes, doesn't it?
it definitely does.
That's amazing. Well, Phil, congratulations on your first win of the Thunderwolves head coach, and I thought it was just a very thorough, sound beating you put on the other team there.
I was pleased with the way we played. You know, obviously that's a very, very quality opponent in Midwestern State, and have a lot of respect for them and what they do. And our guys came out and executed and did a good job. I was proud of them.
Well, you came right out of the gate on offense and took it right down the field, and it just seemed like there was perfect execution on that entire drive and put it on into the end zone.
We want to play fast. You know, we want to be able to play fast and dictate the tempo to the defense and keep them on their heels. And you know, we were able to do that for at least the first half offensively. We're going to have our hands full this weekend with Grand Valley State. I'll tell you that much. They are a very, very good football team, but really, really pleased with both sides of the ball and on Saturday. And obviously there's things to clean up and things to get better with. But overall, it's much better to get it done off of a win than a loss. So very happy.
Well, talk about the rest of the effort in the ball game. It seemed like it struggled at times as the game wore on, but sometimes you're dominating a team so much, sometimes lose a little bit of focus. I thought maybe that might, if you wanted to critique it, I guess a little bit maybe, but finished it off well at the end.
Yeah. You know, when the defense gets 5 turnovers in the first half, it's you're gonna be able to have some success. And offensively, we were able to capitalize on that. And you know, again, I wish we would have been able to be a little bit better in the second half offensively. But overall, again, I'm very pleased with our team and how we performed.
Now, we never really talked about going into the game last week. That first drive was just bang, 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 bang. Now, is it a scripted first drive? Was it 15 plays? Are you a coach? Is your offensive staff I mean, because it seemed like to comfort everybody, set up in the right place. It was like so efficient. And Jim and I both, we looked at each other and we go, okay, this is fun. Because it was just like bang, bang, bang. But then we didn't know if the players were so in the right places because they knew that script.
Yeah, I mean, we script our first 10. You know, it's pretty standard practice. And obviously you walk through those plays and you do all that. But again, it comes down to execution, and the offense executed. Chance did a great job of distributing the football. Offensive line did a good job protecting him and open up some run gaps for Keon, and we were able to finish that first drive off with the touchdown. And again, anytime you can end with points, it's a good drive. So I was proud of him.
And you did kick 3 field goals in the game, but you actually, the offense, they weren't like you settled for them. They were good field goals.
Yeah, I mean, we have a goal. Obviously, we want to score every time we get into the red zone. That's what we want to do. We want to score. 70% of the time we want to finish with touchdowns. And so, again, you look back at a game and you look at. There's always things that you can get better at, and I think traditionally teams make the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2, and the teams that do make the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2 are usually the teams that are playing meaningful games in November and December. And so. We were happy, but we were not satisfied, and so that's that was kind of our focus this week, is cleaning up the mistakes and making sure that we're improving. I think the biggest thing that I was upset about on Saturday night was the penalties.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest disappointing thing that I saw, was just we had way too many penalties, whether it be special teams penalties or personal fouls or just dumb. And so that was a big thing for us. It's just, you can't hurt yourselves. And there were times on Saturday where we did that, and whether it be, pushing us out of field goal range or, it's putting us in bad field goal position or field position. It just those are the things that we've got to be able to clean up immediately.
Well, we were watching you and your body language, and some of those hustle penalties you can kind of take, but you got pretty hot on those selfish personal foul, those 15-yarders, and I think that was the first time your guys have seen that. Maybe not in a game, obviously, but because that was your first game, but it seemed like the alarm went off a little bit.
Yeah, they know me well enough to know when I'm not happy, and so those guys that had those personal fouls, it just like you said, it's in the heat of a battle. Sometimes you're going to get a holding call. That's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get a pass interference call, but after the whistle, personal foul, that's unacceptable. And so those guys had some extra conditioning that had those fouls this week, but we're on the way to cleaning those things up.
Let's talk about defensive effort. We talked a little bit about the offense, but man, almost got a shutout there. I'm sure that's what you're hoping for in that fourth quarter. But it's like we always say, and John always said, they're on scholarship too. They played for a little pride there in that fourth quarter, and they put one on the board on you. But all in all, though, the defense played exceptional.
I was very, very pleased with our defense. Very pleased with our defensive staff. Coach Foskey did a great job putting our guys in position to make plays, and was really suffocating them pretty much all night. I think the only critique that I had coming away from the game is we didn't get a sack. And I was like, Coach Foskey, what are we doing? We didn't get a sack. But, man, we played really well and was very, very pleased. The defense, especially in the first half, was so suffocating. I mean, 5 turnovers and it was a dominant performance on the defensive side. And one of the biggest predictors to winning a football game is turnover margin, and obviously we don't want to turn the ball over offensively. We turned the ball over once in the red zone, and kid made a great play on the ball, which was a pretty safe throw, to be honest with you. Chance doesn't make too many mistakes, but to come out away +5, you're going to have a pretty good chance to win that football game. And so if we can continue, to create turnovers defensively and then obviously protect the football offensively, we're going to have a chance.
Well, I thought just exceptional. We'll get back to the offense again here. Chance played pretty fun, make great decisions. I mean, when he wants to go somewhere with the ball, he doesn't hesitate, does he? And he sees it, and it seems like your whole team was on the same page. And a lot of different receivers, just wasn't one guy. He was spread it out all over the place.
Yeah, Chance is, you look at him, and he's not 6'5". He's not a superb runner, you would say, but he is an elite processor, and he understands defenses. He knows where to go with the football, and he very, very rarely puts the ball in a bad position. And so we today was Thursday practice. We call them perfect Thursdays. And when we were at Hayes and he was there, we would talk about the ball never touching the ground. Ball doesn't touch the ground on Thursdays. And when we go into to Saturdays, we want to play a clean game. And a clean game for us offensively is the defense doesn't ever touch the ball. It's not that you're going to have incompletions. You're going to have incompletions, right? But we don't want them to ever get their hands on the football. And so he understands what I want, what the standard is. And he's played a lot of football in a lot of high caliber situations. I mean, his redshirt freshman year, we were going into Northwest Missouri State. We were undefeated. They were undefeated. And he's made his first start as a redshirt freshman, week 10, going into Northwest Missouri State, and we won the game. And when the lights are on, it's the biggest stage. He plays really well, and Saturday was just the start for him.
Well, he's going to have big lights on him on Saturday.
Yes,
we'll talk a little bit more about Grand Valley as we go on here, but one bad note, I guess, in the ball game, injury bug. You lose Hodgel to the injury. I mean, that was looked great. When it happened, I thought for a moment it might have been a broken foot. I guess it ended up being a broken ankle, I guess, but you just knew it was something there in that foot area.
Yes, and it was so unfortunate. He's such a great kid and such a good player, and he knew right away. He's like, I dislocated my ankle and I popped it back in, and he was pretty down, obviously, as you would imagine, and so he's going to medical this year and hopefully come back even stronger next year. But that was an unfortunate thing last night, or excuse me, on Saturday, and our thoughts and prayers are with him. So
your depth gets tested right away, and you just plug different guys in. I guess that's the way you go about it. But if there's one core group of players you have, it seems like that's one of your deepest spots on your ball club is your wide receiver.
Yeah, it's a next man up mentality, right? And you've got to you got to be ready when your number's called. You got to be ready, and so we had a bunch of guys in that room that were ready to rock and roll, and we didn't skip a beat, which was good to see. But obviously it's tough and it's hard to replace a guy like Dax.
Well, speaking of wide receiver, Joe, the little man. We call him the little man. He's only 140 pounds, but that guy is
He's
a
a
beast out there.
baller.
The Loveland Lion, man. Rakowski, and you know what? For him to get the first touchdown, it just fitting. CSU Pueblo's had a history of just those kind of receivers. And what did you say? A dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
And-
No, Zach has an unbelievable sense of space and feeling for the game. And you'll ask Chance, you'll ask any of the quarterbacks. It's so easy to be on the same page with the guy. He sees things so well and so clear. And so a lot of what we do in our pass game is predicated on what the defense does. And so you have to be on the same page. You have to be, you and the quarterback have to be right on. And Zach does a great job with that.
Well, you go right up and down the line with the receiving cord.
Yeah.
You hit both tight ends, caught one.
Yeah.
Well, and the touchdown pass
Yeah.
to Dvorak,
Beautiful.
that was a great pass. But it was,
Those are one of those.
But whoever called that play,
Braley did.
They probably got an extra hunk of candy in their thing because that was the perfect call at the perfect time because nobody's been that wide open in Division II in the last 20 years.
Those are one of those ones as a quarterback you pray that you don't miss them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're so wide open.
Short arm it.
Yeah, exactly right. So that was a great call by Coach Brown, and they were blitzing, and we were running an RPO, and Chance token faked it, put a little air under it, and TD is going to be, Tyler Dvorak is going to be a really good football player.
He's already a good player,
is.
and physically he's not a Curtis Luckadoo size, but if you beat out the incumbent to be number one on the depth chart at that position, although they equal snaps, but he's a good football player
He
now.
is. How about Curtis dropping the wagon on that one
man.
long reception? That was awesome. I was like, Curtis, drop the trailer, man. Come on, go score that
He's
thing.
a tight end, though.
Yeah.
Come on now. He's a tight end.
He is. He did it. They both had a great game, and it
Well,
was.
they're kind of 1A and 1B, aren't
They
they?
are.
Because you use a lot of times together.
We do.
And it's two sets, and you get a little heavy or unbalanced, I guess, on one side, and it really works well.
It does.
And CK, and Reggie, we talked about Reggie coming into the game. That was a guy that you thought was going to be the guy, or be one of the guys that kind of surprised you. Played well.
He did. And they were doubling Cookie all night on Saturday. They were playing a nickel outside and a safety over the top. And when they do that, it opens up other receivers. It opened up our outside receivers. It opened up our tight ends, and it allowed us to go to work with those guys. And again, credit to Chance. He wasn't trying to force it and just feed Cookie, and Cookie's going to get his catches. He's going to get his touchdowns. But overall, it was good to see.
All right, that's all sexy, talking about all the skill guys, the quarterback, the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running back. Offensive line, that might have been a question mark going into this season in a lot of minds' eyes. That people you talk to, well, what's about the offensive line? And it's been kind of shaky in years past, but I thought they played great.
Coach Graff has done a really good job of not only recruiting in that room, but also developing an identity within that room. And those guys believe in the game plan. They believe in him. They believe in the offense, and they play for each other. And so it was awesome to see those guys go to work on Saturday. Obviously, there's going to be some shakeup. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some things that we've got to correct. But very pleased, like we talked about last week. We have a lot of guys in that room that are unproven from a live game situation, and there's no substitute for live reps, and they got a lot of them on Saturday, and they're about to get a lot more this Saturday.
Well, we thought at first glance, Jim and I are first glance guys. That was to see the ones against somebody else. We thought the offensive line looked tight, like a unit. There wasn't. They were together, and nobody looking around where they knew their assignment. In that offense, it's quick, so you got to get it quick. But the running game up the middle was there. It was in when you needed it. You could bounce it off tackle if you had to, but that unit to us at first glance looked like they can only get better, and they started pretty good.
They did. I was pleased with those guys. They break every time they break it out. It's for the five. They play for each other, and they work well together. They played all spring and fall camp together, and they've developed a really good working relationship between those five. And so I'm excited to watch them continue to grow.
All right, we're going to take a time out here. Glad to have you along. Better late than never. We're going to go a little bit longer in our show tonight. We're going to go a little bit past 7 so we can make up some of the time we missed. But we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the game Saturday and start to transition into our coverage of the game on Saturday at Grand Valley State. Plus, we're going to take your questions. If you got a question for the coach, you can text me 719-671-7574. Again, that's 719-671-7574. Or you can tweet Joe. Joe's got the old Twitter feed up too. If you want to tweet a question to Joe there, we can take it there as well. We're at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. We've got our goodies here. We had a chance to dig into them because of the delay not getting on the air. We had the teriyaki boneless. We had
mango habanero.
Oh, we love it.
Caprese, and I got you the chicken quesadilla for you.
I'll have that as soon as we're done.
And you know what's great about this is if you win Saturday at Grand Valley, this is what we're going to eat because this is what we ate last week, and you won. So
we're not superstitious.
No,
we're just a little stitious.
We haven't even got into that.
Little stitious, yeah.
Superstitious, but
this
is where we're at right now.
Well, you know, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
We are at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. Come out and join us. It's Pint Thursday. I think I saw that. Pint Thursday. So get yourself a pint when you come on out. We're back with the second segment right after this on Fox Sports Pueblo.
It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
And welcome back, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the Phil Vigil Show. New title sponsor this year, Rusler Implement. Same family, same name, same since 1960. They're your premier Kubota dealer, as well as Case International Harvester in New Holland. 2 locations out on the Mason, of course, in Rocky Ford. Be sure to like their Facebook page for a chance to win $100 gift card from Visa and get all their updates and promotions. Once again, Rusler Implement, the new title sponsor of the Phil Vigil Show here at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. I'm Jim. That's Joe. That's Phil. Glad to have you along. Got a nice crowd on hand here. Pint Thursday, is that right? You get a pint at a discount? Who's all got a pint in the house? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'll soon
your
to have
kids
a
are raising their hands.
later. Okay.
What are we teaching them here?
My kids don't have pints. They raise their hands, but they don't.
I love it.
All right. More about the ball game on Saturday, and then we'll transition to our coverage of the game of Grand Valley this upcoming week. But some other units you want to talk about in the ball game on Saturday. I guess we talked about the defensive line a little bit. You want to get more pressure on the quarterback. Of course, that's a whole new unit across there. They acquitted themselves well in the run game, I thought, for the most part. They hit a few little runs on the outside from time to time, but for the most part, really kept them in check.
They did. Our front seven did a great job. You know, they were trying to keep that ball and hold on to it as long as they possibly could and run the football, and they were trying to, you know, it's in the second half, it seemed like they were just trying to get out of the game and waiting to snap that thing with 5 seconds left on the play clock every single time. And again, the defense, they held tough, and even when their backs were against the wall, they still held tough, and that's a good team to only hold to 8 points. They did a good job.
Well, you can tell you're doing something right, too, when you've got the opposing head coach and the officials here the entire ball game. Joe and I are doing that. He did come up to the booth, Joe, and ask for directions to the Midwestern radio, but it wasn't quite Walter Brennan, but it was a Texas accent. Where's the Midwestern radio booth?
I watched Maskell talk to the officials for 25 minutes before the game. I watched him writing things. He was standing on your side of the field while you were warming up, writing things down on pieces of paper. Then when the game started, he was in the side judge's ear for the first quarter, and I'm like, dude, coach your team. You know, it's over, man. It's just coach your team.
Yeah,
and he was just. I know that game meant so much to him because of what happened last year, and then the fact that his staff is your staff.
Some of them.
Yeah, and I like that. You know, because that's what coaches do. They're gypsies. You know, they go where they got to go. But you know, the one we haven't talked about, and it was kind of a little bit of shock to us, was kicker. You know, Willick was the kicker on Saturday, which was very effective. You know, and he unseated an incumbent in Sully Moon.
Yeah, he it was an open competition all throughout fall camp, and we try to put as much pressure on those guys during fall camp as we possibly can. You know, we'll put a lot of conditioning and things like that, so we'll have
the team on the sideline, and we'll put the kickers out there. And if you make it, we don't run. If you don't, we do. And trying just to create game situations and pressure and see who's gonna take it and who's not. And Jake did a great job through fall camp, and so did Sully. It was honestly a really, really tough decision going into it. And Jake went in on Saturday and did exactly what we asked him to do. Made every single field goal. He has great height on the ball. He has a great leg, and the best thing about that is operation time was fantastic. And so that was a great takeaway for him. Hopefully, it built some confidence in him and our kicking units as we go into Lover Stadium.
And you used another kicker for kickoffs.
Yeah, we have a true freshman, Evan Lyons, that is from Louisville, Colorado, Monarch High School, and he's got a huge leg. And the very first kick, I was so fired up, man. He goes out there. You never know, he's a true freshman. He's never kicked in a college game before, and boom, touchback right off the bat. And I was proud of him. I'm excited about his future as well.
Well, sticking with special teams, Haydad, did a great job punting the ball.
He did.
Under some duress a couple times, but he's able to get away. Got decked the one time. I watched the replay. Now, how is that not roughing the pass? I don't care if you try to help him to the ground if you just because you try to help him up, you ran into him.
That's
right. That should have been a penalty, right?
That was my argument. He's like, he held up. He held up. I was like, well, that's what running into the kicker's for.
Yeah.
It's not a personal foul. It's running into the kicker. Because that would have put us at 4th and 1, and then, you make a decision from there. It's 4th and 6.
It's like hockey. Boarding is boarding. If you board a guy, it's boarding. If you rough the punter, it's roughing the punter. I didn't get that one.
And
it's almost like at the end, he goes, I don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And our exchange on the radio was pretty much like, Jim's, how's that not a penalty? And I go, well, he helped him up. And Jim's just looking at me like, so? That was one of those.
If that's all it takes, I'm going to start telling my team, hey, just help him up,
man. He won't
just help him up to avoid that penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
But he did hit it inside the 20 a couple times. It helps your ball club. It helps defense immensely when you give the team a long field. They never had really good field position, except maybe the one time on a turnover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or the onside kick, I guess it'd be.
Yeah, it was on the onside. We talk about tilting the field and the percentages of us scoring or them scoring based on field position and how important field position is. And again, teams did a great job. Coach Mac Alexander, my special teams coordinator, did a phenomenal job getting those guys to understand the scheme and play hard. We did obviously have the one mistake on the hands team, and Noah Purcell was up there on the front line and was so amped up about hitting somebody. He forgot to field the ball, and so it's really not his job to field the ball. It's really the guys in the back. But if it's coming in hot, we got to avoid that thing and go hit somebody so that our guys behind can go field it. And
we love that onside kick technique, though.
Yeah,
just
bang it
at somebody as hard as you can.
I was making fun of him today because I was talking. Have you ever seen the movie The Replacements? Where's my guy? There he is, right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's classic.
All right. Well, go ahead, Joe.
No, everybody contributed on offense, defense, special teams, and that's what you need against a good Lone Star team.
Absolutely.
And you're going to need that times 10 in 2 days.
Yep. Yeah, we sure will. We've got our hands full in Grand Valley State. They're a very, very good program, very good team, very well coached, and we're gonna go up there and show them what the Pack are all about.
All right, we're going to take another time out here. We come back. We got a lot of questions lined up. It looked like the last count I had 6 of them. There were a couple more have come in even. So we come back after this timeout. We will go to those questions. If you have one for the coach, it's 719-671-7574. That's 671-7574. You can tweet Joe as well. We are at the ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House Phil Vigil Show. Come back right after this break on Fox Sports Pueblo.
It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
And welcome back, ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. Sure, clapping back in. Phil Vigil Show here. Phil tried last week, Joe. He got in your ear. I heard about this. I don't want to call it it's not me. It's about the Thunderwolves. It's about the Pack.
No,
it's Pack football.
Too late, Phil.
No.
The billboards have been made, and it's next year you can talk about a name change.
Okay.
But it's the Phil Vigil Show over the rest of this year.
What was your nickname when you played? Was it something cool?
No.
Was it something like Stud or
no? We can't talk about
what
those
was
things.
You had to have a nickname that was You know, they call
No
him
nicknames.
Slick.
None.
You know, I mean,
Slick.
What, was there, you know, Slick Vigil or Vibes? Or are you Vibes Vigil or
Victory Vigil.
Victory Vigil. You'll take that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
I'll
go.
take that. Yeah. That'd
So
be
maybe
great.
we'll come up with the Philip Vigil nickname for the coaches show.
Let's
We'll
just pack football.
With
pack
Phil
football
Vigil.
show with. There you go.
Well,
Phil
we'll
Vigil.
do it this way: the Phil Vigil show about Pack football.
Yeah.
Only because all the graphics are built.
Oh.
So guess,
We'll work on that next year. You know, I got to take care of business because we have a new sponsor this year, Rusler Implement. They're the same family, the same name since 1960. They're your premier Kubota Case International Harvester and New Holland dealer. You know, I was, trolling around a little bit on their website. They got something on their homepage. Looks like something I need just to dig up the yard. Just put it on a tractor there. 2 locations out on the Mesa and in Rocky Ford. Be sure to like their Facebook page for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card and get all updates and promotions from Rusler Implement.
well, we've driven the RMAC enough, you and I together.
We've
for
seen a lot of their
We've
stuff.
seen a lot of implements. I mean, we go that way, that way. Remember when we were driving to Fort Lewis and we were watching them dig up potatoes?
Yes, in
Outside
Alamosa, in the San
we're
Luis
like,
Valley.
what in the hell is that machine? And it was an implement.
Have you ever watched potatoes being harvested, Phil?
I have
Up in
You're going to get to
Shadron,
see
they
it.
do that.
this
You'll
year.
see
Oh, yeah,
that,
they got those big old melons, or I don't know what they're taking out of the ground up there in Shadron.
From when you get to Sydney to Shadron, you're just going to see trucks of something
Big
that's
old
coming out of the
something.
ground.
I mean, they're beets or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they
It's
are. but-
crazy.
Wow.
Anyway, all right, let's get to the questions. Phil, you ready?
We're ready.
Let's see what we got here. All right. All right. Well, look at that. We got there. I'll have to show you that picture later. That's a little bit of a Ken down there in the Ozarks. He's got a good little man cave there he's going on. Let's see what he's trying. He's doing a lot of talking before he gets to the question. Let's see. I got to go find the
Get
question.
to the point, kid.
What? It's like Larry King. What's your question?
Yeah.
What was gratifying? What was disappointing in Saturday's game?
Obviously, when you come away with the win, you're always happy about that. It's hard to win games in college football, and I was happy with the way that they played for the most part. You know, I think obviously there's mistakes that were made that we've talked about already, the penalties and stalling out a little bit in the second half offensively, but for the most part, was very pleased with our team.
Was there a
Okay.
play
Yeah.
in that? You're a former quarterback, so was there a play that when they called it, you were excited because you go, "This is the play," and then it doesn't work, and you just went, "Oh, damn."
There was a
You don't have to tell us what play, but did that happen during the game?
There was a play where we completed the ball to Curtis down the sideline, and it's a mirrored concept, and so usually the play is set up for your speedier receivers, and Chance is looking over at the tight end side, and I was like, what is he doing looking on that side? And then no, yes, nice job, Chance, good job, Curtis. So it was one of those where you're like, okay, I guess we'll take it. Actually, the touchdown that we scored to CK was another one too that I was like. It was supposed to be a naked, and Chance checked out of it, checked the slant.
Over the middle, yes. Beautiful.
Checked the slant to CK on a naked, and threw it late across the middle.
Like you're not taught to do.
Exactly right. And
But he threaded the needle, though.
He did thread the needle. And Coach Brown was like, "What did you call? What were you doing?" He's like, "Do you like touchdowns? We'll talk about it on Sunday."
I love that. Yeah, just results. That's results. All right, Phil. Now I get a couple of texts during the ball game. Actually, 3 of them, as a matter of fact. Fans a little upset, Phil. I'm gonna give you a chance to guess what they might be upset about. If you were in about the 8th row of the bleachers.
Oh, I know what this is.
And you just happen to be right behind the black screen of death there. You guys are holding up. Now, first of all, you got to explain why we have this 15-foot tall black screen and what was the purpose of it. People couldn't see. They were a little upset.
I honestly did not even think about that. That's funny that you bring that to my attention because that is not something that I was worried about. It's to block the camera. So when we film from that sideline, and so teams will look at signals and they'll try to decode what your signals are. And so we use dummy signalers, and we also use that big black.
Okay, we need to cut the sign down a little bit, I think.
Okay.
Just take the curtain down a little bit.
And I even remarked on the game, I didn't know if this was a one-game wonder because of who you were playing.
Yeah, with them
And it
knowing
was
everything.
with them knowing you so well and
Well-
your staff so well. I didn't know if this was a Midwestern State only thing.
No,
Oh.
it was for future opponents thing, so that they can't see our signals.
Yeah, I had one listener say, "Tell the D coordinator wear a different color shirt." They were trying to come up with all kinds of reasons that black screen of death was up there. But
Let me follow up on that. Do you
Yeah.
have time as a coaching staff to break down another team's signals? I mean, honestly, do you have that kind of time? You can.
I mean,
you
you're
can
going
say
to
no
try to
comment,
find
but
you're going to try to find every advantage that you possibly can.
Okay.
And if players are signaling something and it results in something, then you write those things down, you study those things, and you try to find an edge.
I just think games happen so fast and the week goes so fast, and but who knows? Maybe your staff has somebody. Your job is to break down the bat signal.
We gotta find an edge. We gotta find a way
There
to
you
get
go.
done. So
this question, I don't. This is kind of a here's your sign question, but they want to know what the opening play is going to be this week, a pass or a run. Let me make sure. Let's get Grand Valley on the line. Okay, here's the first play of the game. Do you know what? We'll just do it this way. We're not going to tell everybody about the first play of the game, but you say you script the first 10, but is it always like the first play, we're going to run this play and it's going to be great, or is it just going to be what do you have that mindset that we're going to hit home run on the first play, or we're going to get 5 yards on this little run off tackle? What are we going to do?
you're gonna laugh at this, but Braley was texting me last week, and he's like, "All right, I got 2 plays for the first play of the game." He's like, "We can run this play where it's pretty safe. We'll get probably an 8-yard completion, or
Or
we can do a double move." He's like, "Do you want your first play as a Pack head coach to be an 8-yard completion or a 75-yard touchdown?"
oh man,
And then he followed up with "Scared money don't make money." So
oh
Oh, okay, all right.
He's easy to play with your money, isn't he? Right?
yeah, he is. No, he's done a good job.
That's a
Well,
lot of trust in a guy that you didn't coach with before.
He's really impressed me in spring. He's impressed me in fall, and it was hard for me, to be honest with you, giving up play calling, just because it's something that I enjoy and I think I'm pretty good at, and he's done such a good job. It's been awesome to watch him and him take the reins, and it's a collaborative effort. We've kind of built this thing between all of us offensively, and I kind of sat back, was really doing some self-reflection and praying during the fall camp, and it's like, okay, I've got to be a great head coach, I've got to be a great offensive coordinator, and I've got to be a great husband and father. And one of those things has to give, and so it was pretty easy to give up the OC and give that to Braley, and he's done a great job.
Because of the time you would have to spend in addition to your head coaching duties to do that. Yeah.
Well, and your 3 kids are running around here.
Oh, yeah.
And they're coming over. I noticed the daughters, they come over, they like get a little dad. Your boy's over there, he's just chowing.
Yeah, he don't care.
He's just shoveling it in there. Eat. He can worry about love from dad a little bit later. The daughters want that dad love.
He's all about football, though. He even in the spring we were doing our Hell Weeks, and we go at Hell Weeks at 5 a.m. and he was he was waking up at 4 a.m. ready to rock and roll, and so he was out there every morning, and he goes to school right across the street, so we just walk him on over, and he loves it.
So how special was that for him to be out standing with you as they were doing calisthenics, 20 minutes before kickoff, and you got your kid right there?
Oh, it's awesome. He loves it, and I love having him out there, and there's a lot of sacrifice, obviously, when you're a college football coach on your family. It takes what it takes to be successful in this, and last year we were driving home after a game, and he said, "Dad, I want to be a coach when I grow up." And it kind of shocked me, and I was like, "Really? Why?" He's like, "Because I want my kids to experience what I get to experience."
Oh,
and I was
wow,
like,
that's cool.
It felt good. That felt good.
All right, Uncle Charlie checking in. Wouldn't be a week here at the ThunderZone without Uncle Charlie checking in. Uncle Charlie's on the phone here. All right. Okay.
Rock looked up like, what's going on?
All right, there we go. Uncle Charlie said he likes our young staff, likes the enthusiasm. He could tell that. He thought the team played very well. But he knows Grand Valley coming off a very stinging defeat. I mean, they make a brilliant comeback to get back into the game, tie the thing 36 seconds ago, and then it took Mines only 34 seconds to go down and win the ball game with 2 seconds to go. Mm-hmm. What's it going to take to beat Grand Valley? We'll get a little bit more in depth on that on our next segment here when we come back for our final segment. But quickly, what is it going to take?
Well, again, you do research on teams and you look at everything. Last time they've lost back-to-back games was 2019. And so I was, we got to play well. We've got to play well. We've got to make sure, again, I think it's about us. I think it's about the pack, and I think it's about us executing at a high level. And if we do that, we're going to be in any game, no matter what game who we're playing. And so we've got to go in and know that it's about us, and we've got to control what we can control. And if we do that, I think we're going to be in it.
Well, they came in here a year ago, and like you said, the Thunderwolves had chances in the first half last year. Drop touchdown pass, right in the bucket goal line would have put us up 10-7, I guess. I say us. The Thunderwolves would have been up. But
you're us.
Well,
I mean, we're in the same
I
together.
don't like to get into that. I'm not, kind of. I'm an
You actually
observer.
went there, though, so you're a
So I was there, and they didn't take advantage of the opportunities they had, and then the game kind of got away. So I'm guessing and then 2 years ago when we were there, they jumped out early, had a big punt return, and the quarterback, the same guy's back in, hit a couple of big plays. But after the dust kind of settled and we're down, 17-0, played them kind of even from there on. So I guess the key is get a good start, try to hang with them, and at least, get settled down in the game. Don't dig a big hole, I guess, is the problem.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because I was talking to my staff today in our staff meeting and was talking about when I was at Northwest Missouri State. And when I was there at Northwest, we had just gotten done playing they had just got done playing for 5 straight national championship games. And I told our staff that, every single game where we got up early, we steamrolled. Mm-hmm. We steamrolled them, and the other team quit. They didn't believe they could win, and it was over. But every game, no matter who we were playing, if it was close after the first quarter, it was always a game. And so we got to go in. We got to take care of us. We got to control the football. We got to take care of the football. We got to find ways to get turnovers, and if we do that, we're gonna be in for a dogfight.
I equate that to there's probably 15 teams nationwide, and CSU Pueblo is one of them, that you have to play good football to win that game. Grand Valley, Northwest Missouri State, Mines, Ferris. I mean, there's just a certain you can match up with anybody, but if you don't play well, it doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah, no doubt. They're a very well coached team. They're good. They've got great talent. They're going to be playing at home. It's their first home game. Last year I think their max attendance was over 17,000. It's going to be loud. We've been practicing all week with the Thundertron being turned up. My wife texted me today. She's like, I loved Mariah Carey playing with girls, and I were dancing when we were going on the way to school. It was Throwback Thursday, so we had the throwback music going on today. But we've been working on communicating when it's loud, and so we'll be ready.
Well, this just in. There's throwback, and then there's Joe and Jim back. Yeah. That's a little bit further back there. 60s
it's nice that we like the same music because we travel a lot together. And if we didn't like the same music, it would be a bad trip.
All right, we thank everybody for all your questions. You can give Phil a question each and every week here on his show. We're going to come back after this timeout. We're going to talk about this week's opponent, Grand Valley State. That all comes your way next. It's the Phil Vigil Show here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
It's the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves Coaches Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, joined by Thunderwolves head coach Philip Vigil.
All right, welcome back. One final segment here at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. New title sponsor, Rusler Implement. They're the same family, same name since 1960. Your premier Kubota, Case, International Harvester, and New Holland dealer. 2 locations out on the Mesa and also in Rocky Ford. Be sure to like their Facebook page for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card and get all updates and promotions. Once again, Rusler Implement, the new sponsor here of the Phil Vigil Show. Phil, we transition to our final little, about 7 minutes here. Talk about Grand Valley State traditional power program, probably top 5 in the country. I don't think that's hyperbole to say they're in the top 5 in the country, and they do a great job. They're a wounded animal, losing that first game. You're going out on the road, home opener. A lot of things kind of working against the Thunderwolves here, but it's a chance to be great and to pull off something great, isn't it?
There's no doubt. I think I was joking with Coach Rist, and I was like, thanks a lot for these first 4 games. He's like, why do you think I got out of here? But if you want to be a playoff team, you've got to play playoff teams. And that's exactly who Grand Valley is. And so we are going to have our hands full, but I'll take my guys any day of the week. So I'm excited to see these guys get out there on the road in a hostile environment and
give it our best shot.
Well, it's been a limited but rich history against Grand Valley State. Are 0-4. They had the playoff game, just a tremendous playoff game back in 2013 here, where the Thunderwolves had a lead at halftime. But I think Chris Bonner broke his hand or a thumb or something and they just had to start going conservative in the second half. I was talking to Paul Browning. He was here after the game, after your win. He was still thinking about it 10 years later. Then, of course, we had the famous coin flip game where the guy went out. Have you heard about this one? Well, the wind was blowing about 30, and so the Thunderbolts captain was instructed, take the wind, if you win the toss. So it wins the toss, and when does he go? Take the ball. So Thunderbolts had to kick off into the wind. They had to win the first quarter.
First play of the game.
It was like the game. That was it. And then of course.
No, they gave him the wind and the ball.
Yeah, that was right. He took a side.
He got the wind and the ball. He took this.
And
I go, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
He got the wind and the ball.
He elected to kick, didn't take the side, do all that, but picked the wrong end.
That was just
another
one of the
playoff game,
problems
31-7. And last year, the game, of course, we talked a little bit about it last year. We're in the game early and just kind of let it get away, and then they kind of impose their will as the game goes along. But they got this quarterback at Peterson. He's been around forever. He's one of those, a COVID darling. They just keep hanging around. I thought he might transfer out and maybe get a D1 type job. He's that big and strong. I'm sure you've seen him on film wondering, why does this guy not go somewhere? But maybe he feels like he can, show himself off there, and he's loyal to the program.
Yeah, good for him if that's the case. He's a really good football player.
I guess his size and the physicality he plays with is the thing that jumps off at you.
You really have to, defensively, you have to account for him in everything. He's not just a thrower. He can run it. He can punish you by running the football. There's some guys that are really, really fast and dynamic. He is a power runner. I mean, he can move. He can run. He can shake you. He can power. He can run over you. And then obviously he throws the ball well enough to be able to distribute the ball to the edge. And they've got some playmakers on the edge, and they've got a tailback that is a stud as well. I mean, rushed for 1,200 yards last year, and their offensive line is very big and athletic. And so
experience. That's what you notice every year they come in. There's very rarely a sophomore or a redshirt freshman playing on that line. They're always seem like 5-year seniors in there.
On that, their MO, their identity is they're going to run the football. That's what they want to do, And so defensively, we've got to find a way to stop the run, and we got to find a way to keep the quarterback in the pocket and not allow him to make plays with his legs. And because when plays break down is when he's really special. Even last year, just watching the tape, had him kind of hemmed up, and then he goes for 40 or and it's those are things defensively that really hurt you. And so we've got to find a way to keep him in check and keep him in the pocket, and we've got to find a way to slow down their tailback and we're going to have our hands full.
Well, you mentioned you want to get more pressure, but Joe, sometimes when you go to get more pressure, you get undisciplined, and that's your biggest worry.
Yeah, you can leave rush lanes open. If you start doing too much and you leave a rush lane open, and there goes the quarterback. So we've got to be smart defensively with how we attack this team this week and get after them.
Well, and this is something that you talk about. It's hard to win a game in college football. This is your first road game. You're flying. Buses, travel, new staff, hotels, meals, meeting rooms, all the minutia that no one ever sees except for the players and the staff. Do you feel like you're in a good place with that right now?
Yeah, I mean, you've gone on. Last year we flew twice to Seattle, played Simon Fraser, and then we played Central Washington. We flew commercial, which we're doing again this year. There's always some anxiety there, making sure that we're getting there with enough time to get on the flight and all that kind of stuff. And, we'll be leaving here at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning and loading the bus at 4:50 to get to Denver to fly out to Grand Rapids. So there's always a little anxiety there when you're traveling and unknowns. But tomorrow we'll get in, we'll get some food, and we'll go walk through their stadium. I think it's important for our guys to see it the night before. I don't want them walking in on Saturday to that place just wide-eyed, and that's the first time they see it, and so we'll go walk through there tomorrow and get a good feel for the place and begin to visualize us having success.
Well, we talked about their offense, the problems they cause. Defensively, what problems do they cause?
Well, they're very athletic and they're very big. Up front, they're 4 defensive linemen. They're really able to, hold and close 5 gaps with 4 guys, 6 gaps sometimes, and they let their outside linebackers kind of almost free roam, where if they see run, they're going to add their hat. If they don't, then they're going to drop into hook curl. Their middle linebacker, number 41, is a very, very good football player. He just has a great nose for the football and is around the football consistently. Their DBs are extremely athletic. They're good. They're very good.
God, they're good.
Sleepless nights, I guess, is the way to put it. But I guess, it's that way too. But I'm sure we kind of mentioned it. You wouldn't be in this business if you didn't want to play a big game.
100%.
And this is a big game early in the season. It's what you want to be doing. You'd rather be playing them than going up and playing, like you said last year, playing Simon Fraser.
No doubt. And again, it's about preparing your team for the postseason. And again, it's something that we did when I was at Northwest Missouri State. Every single year we would have a non-conference game against a top 5 opponent. And you get to see who you are. And so we're excited. We're excited for the challenge. We're excited to make the trip up north. And it's going to be fun.
Well, you kind of touched on the itinerary a lot. Well, I'm surprised I didn't get a question this week. Everybody wants to know the itinerary. So you're getting up early and and like commercial, that's kind of unusual, I guess, in years past. But the cost it just kind of went way up, didn't it, on charter flights? Didn't it? So it's like, you know what? Let's just roll the dice and go commercial. And you're going a day early, so you should be all right. Should be, yeah.
Not
okay.
fun.
Yeah, we should be
Final.
okay.
Yeah.
We should be all right. Yeah, it's good. It's going to be, when you don't charter, it's a little bit more difficult. We sent actually 2 coaches on a U-Haul today, so we packed up the U-Haul as soon as we got done with practice. Driving out, they're making the long haul, and
who drew that assignment?
a couple of the young coaches.
I was going to say,
Yeah, exactly.
who got that trip?
Yeah, they they're probably not very happy with me right now, but it is what it is. We've all been there, so they'll make that trip, and we'll get out there Friday afternoon and fly back Sunday morning.
Well, the key is when you're young and out on the road, our old buddy Dave Socher, when you go into a small town, always get the hot roast beef.
Yeah.
That's what you go. You find for a little diner and get, don't go to the commercial joints.
They're going to make a trip of it. They're already talking about going to Chicago and getting some deep dish.
Right
there you go.
Go up to Chicago. You go to Chicago. If you go left, you go to Milwaukee. You go right, you go to Michigan. So
now my sister's in Chicago. Susie, they can wave at you. Susie, go stand by the side of Interstate, whatever it is going through there. I don't have the map right in front of me. Well, Phil, we wish you the best of luck. I'm sure your message to the fans, final message to the fans coming into this ball game.
Well, first off, thank you for the support last weekend and Saturday and being out there. And thank you for the hospitality that you've shown my family and I since we've been here and our staff. And excited to get on the road this weekend and give it our best against Grand Valley State. And I know our kids are going to play hard. And I know it's not always going to be perfect, but we're going to play extremely hard on Saturday.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We'll have the ball game for you right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. We'll be on the air at 4:30 local time. Remember, the game's in Eastern time zone, but we'll be on at 4:30. Kickoff is right around 5, probably about 5:03 or so when they have their little TV coverage, but we'll have it for you. Joe and I will be here to bring you the call. Again, we thank Rusler Implement, our new title sponsor of the Phil Vigil Show. Of course, everybody, Kevin Howard, everybody here at Ryan Howard. Did I say Kevin Howard? I don't know where I came over with Kevin. I was thinking of Kevin Chapman all of a sudden. No, buddy, I got to call him.
Yeah, no.
Right, Kevin's down there
Ryan
in
Howard
Phoenix.
and
Ryan Howard
and the
here
ThunderZone
at
and the staff. They've been
the entire staff.
They've
doing
been
the job.
absolutely fantastic.
And of course, there's that guy over there, Ben. What's his last name?
Greenberg.
Yeah. I can't. What did I call you last year, Ben? I had a different name. It was Ben something else, but it's Ben Greenberg. We had him at a different last name, but we thank him for all of his help here. We also thank all of you, the fans, for coming out and showing up. Thank the fans for tuning in and listening. For my partner, Joe Cervi. For the head coach, Phil Vigil, I'm Jim Brooks. Good night, everybody. Benny Bash as well, our producer and engineer. Good night, everybody.